Lucidity for some reason, I'm not sure. I think you have a separate account, another account.
No, I don't. It's just the name was spelled wrong, so I was scared.
Okay. I'm just going to move really quick, guys, so I don't give anybody an advantage, but I'll be back. Alright, guys, so we're going to take a quick look over here at Sexy Hazard. The match hasn't started. I'm going to let them know that they're ready up to start. I'm going to take a quick look. This is the first match. This is guild only. We have 13 participants, over 400 golden prizes. We're going to be giving it out to first, second, and third, 50%, 30%, and 20%. He's running Invocation, Devastation, and Herald. He's also got Sword with Staff, your typical Revenant build. He's also running Runa Lisa, just for the Condi duration. Luciato is probably running a Fire Weaver, so he's preemptively putting on his Lisa rune. There's a lot of different options you can go with these guys. Who's also running with Marauder. Let's take a quick look at Luciato over here. She is running Sword Focus, running with Smoldering and Energy. She's got Balthazar and Sage, as you can see, going with the Condi. Here's the Fire, Arcane, and Weaver. This is a Fire Weaver here. They're really, really strong. She's been practicing this for a while. I've seen her in a couple tourneys. She did really well against a couple other Revenants. Revenants don't do too well against Condi, as they don't have too much mitigation for Condi. So he's got one or two little things, but Sexy Hazard's got to be really careful about those burning stacks if Lucidity is able to get those down. He did kind of unfortunately use his Glint Elite there. But here we go on the engage. He's going hard onto Lucidity, trying to keep the pressure up, and that's probably one of the best ideas you can do to these type of weavers. Good job by Sexy keeping up the pressure. Lucidity does have a lot of mitigation or regen, but the regen is very small in small bursts, and if you can keep the pressure up like he is now, she's not able to really turn up the pressure because her health is too low. She could be very fearful of dying, as you can see right here. Good job by Sexy Hazard doing a really quick work of that Ellie. This is going to be also a best of 3 series, guys. I'll just run through the rules with you as well. The class you start with is the class you finish with. And now let's take a look at my build here. I'm running Zeal, Radiance, and Valor. I can't change these trait lines. I have to keep my build, and I have to keep my class, and I have to keep these trait lines. I can change all these. I can change all my utilities. I can change my sword, sigil, rune, amulet. All those things I can change. It's just the class and the 3 traits you've chosen. So here we go again. Sexy Hazard opting not to go into too hard this time. He's changing it up a bit. Lucidity being a little cautious, staying back. Already using the evade frames, the double evade frames. Sexy did a good job of baiting those out. He tries the glint elite plus with the shackling wave. He doesn't connect. Lucidity is taking a little bit of damage. He's got to start putting counter pressure onto Sexy Hazard, at least getting a little bit of burning down to make him a little fearful, so he doesn't. He has to use at least a bit of utility, so when she's ready to put down the pressure, she can. Good job over there on the sustain, getting the burning down, and they are sticking. As you can see with the burning stacks, it's hard for Sexy to get him off, and those could do a lot of damage. She's still running Balthazar? I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, it's still Balthazar. So the concentration is really up there, and as the fight tends to go farther and farther, this tends to favor Luciato. As Sexy Hazard only has small moments of burst, he can't sustain it for too long. Swirling Winds is put up to mitigate any kind of projectile hate. And as I mentioned as well, there is the map mechanic involved. So after 2 minutes, there is 0 healing, and there is an AoE effect that comes from this spawn area, these doors, and this spawn area that eventually encroach onto the entire map. Good job by Sexy Hazard putting up the pressure. She gets the heals up, but she's really low here, and Sexy's able to take her down. That's game 1 in our first series of our 1v1 tournament here. That's Dark Opium that takes it and moves forward. Next up, we have Fidelo versus Enlil. Hold on, guys. I'm just whispering to a couple people. Not sure why it's taking so long, but I'm just going to game end so I can go past this. There we go. So our next match is Fidelo versus Enlil. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you like this type of content, click that follow or click that subscribe. I do this content every single day, man. Every single day for the past 25 days since I started twitching. Check out my highlights video. You'll see every single one there. I do funky tournaments sometimes. I'll do Swiss style, core only. I did an e-girl tournament yesterday. I do a lot of 1v1s, 2v2s, 3v3s. I also do a bunch of fashion wars. I stream for other fashion guilds, like the Fall Guild. Not a fashion guild per se, but they really do a lot of fashion wars. It's really, really interesting. So if you like this type of stuff, click that follow, click that subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Either way, guys, we're about to get started into the second match. I'm going to take a quick look, make sure these are both the participants that I was looking for. This is Fidelo. This should be Enlil. It is Enlil. So let's take a look. Actually going for that burst to Mesmer over here. Interesting. I haven't seen these in a while. Barbarian running with Exuberance. Great sword with the Scepter Focus. It's also running Illusions, Dueling, and Chronomancer. Very interesting. Let's take a quick look at Queemate. Another Fire Weaver here. I've been seeing a lot of Fire Weavers in my tournaments. They're becoming very dominant. If you learn how to use them properly and flow through their combos well, they can be very, very, very strong. So here we go. Miss Chaos is going to want to be very careful with Qmate, and he does have the ability to stay far away. He does have a lot of mitigation. Let's take a quick look over here. No, Gravity Well. He does have the Arcane Thievery if he does choose to do it, and his little ports with his utility from his weapons. Already here, heavy pressure coming onto Miss Chaos. He's got to be really careful. He tries to get the Gravity Well down, but it's no use. Queemate does get the get the down on him. He's got to be really careful. Maybe using terrain a little more to his advantage. Queemate can only put on the hard pressure when he's within around 300 range of the opponent. So if he tries to use these kite spots back and forth, I think he'll have a much better chance. Let's Sorry guys, I'm just responding to a couple whispers there really quick. Oh, I had my beef jerky on the side. I saw. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Now, Miss Chaos, he's got to be careful on the engage. He's got to stay far away. Good job by Qmate using that little LOS from the stairs to mitigate a lot of that great sword damage. Now Qmate's got to get away. Down goes Qmate once again. So that's actually. Let me make sure who that is. Report. That's Fidelo who moves forward in this one, guys. This is the first round, so we're just trying to get through a couple of these. And then once we get to the quarterfinals, the cream's going to start rising a little bit to the top. We'll get those game 3 matches. So now we have Sarista versus Taste of the Damebo. Nice, thank you, Luciato. She's the one that was actually posting them now. Yeah, I watch Noctwolf a lot. He's a streamer that I enjoy watching, and I saw him the other day eating beef jerky, and I was like, I gotta get some beef jerky. So now I'm having my beef jerky, guys. Server's acting really weird. Doesn't seem to be game ending. Yeah, just as Sexy Hazard just mentioned, these are the last 3v3s. So here we go, we got Devo and Christy. They're both really good. I had seen Christy in the past 3 or 4 tourneys of mine. He's another Fire Weaver, I believe. Yeah, he's a really good one. He actually faced Artemis Flame, who's, if you know, she also won the e-girl tournament the other day, and she has won some of my 1v1s. Very strong, dominant elementalist. And Sarista actually ended up beating them in the tournament. So here we go to take a quick look at Debo. He's running Rune of the Traveler with Deadshot. He's got Sword Dagger, excuse me, with Short Bar. Goddamn tricky. Deadly Hearts and Trickery with Daredevil. This is a tall order for Debo here. It's all going to come down to his engages. Good job with the poison right there. Good clear. Really good job. Oh, heavy con. Now he's doing the Dagger Storm. Great timing for the Dagger Storm. He's already really low, Christy. He's trying to clear some of the Condi. Now Damebo's got to be careful. He's got the chill and a little bit of burning. It's time for Christy to turn up the heat. But he also has a lot more sustain than Debo. Debo got caught. Maybe he got a little complacent, a little energetic, and was like, you know what, I almost got this down. Let me go for it. But he's also got to keep in mind, and like I mentioned, Christie is no slouch. He got caught by off guard with all those condies and the major stacks of poison. Debo did a good job of putting all that condi cover on top of the poison so he couldn't clear it, and he was just stuck in a really hard spot. Debo got a little complacent, a little energetic, and went after it for the kill, using and blowing through most of his sustain. And then when Christie was able to regain, turned back on Debo and able to put down the pressure. And obviously Debo doesn't have as much mitigation or as much regeneration as Christie, so he actually takes that win. Anyone? Whoops, I'm not sure what I did there. I'm not sure what's happening there. Really weird. The server's acting really strange. Let's see if Debo makes any changes to his build over here.
Go ahead. Hit me.
Still with the trap, but he's got to be really careful. He did a really good job on the engage. He caught Christie by surprise. I don't think that's going to happen again, to be honest. Like I mentioned, Christie is a good player, and he's not going to get caught with something like that twice. But it's hard to avoid it. I've seen Anya and the likes of those people were able to mitigate the engage from a thief really well with a well-placed dodge with literally fractions of a second to spare. Good job by Christie this time, using a lot of the evades. Now Debo's got to be careful. They are in fire. He's got to try to get away from him. Now back into water. Try to mitigate some of that damage. Now Debo's in a lot of world of hurt. He tries the Dagger Storm almost out of desperation to try to keep him away and create some distance, which he actually does manage doing. He's got to be careful in his engages. He's trying to keep a little bit of pressure at the same time as kiting, which is a good job, but unfortunately he's going to pay for it. With a thief versus an Ellie, it's all about those quick, close encounters. You'll see the thief come in really quick. The Ellie's got to be ready to put down the damage, and the thief's got to be ready to do the damage. So it's like a dance. You'll see them both clash in, do their damage, and then the thief will pour it out. Then a couple seconds later, you'll see the thief clash in really quick, and the Ellie's just got to be really quick with his burns and whatever he may have, maybe a dodge, especially the dodge, especially on the thief engage, but it's all about timing. So that actually goes to Christie, moving on into our quarterfinals. Thank you, Dane Bo, for entering, bro. I really appreciate it. This one's got a lot of gold in it, guys. Like I said, over 400 gold in prizes. This one's going to be interesting. I'm just reading through the the Twitch chat. My soulmate, oh yeah, but perhaps it was something harder. Revenant is pretty challenging, I think. Lisa Runes is just a mediocre leadership, but to be honest, I would say, yeah, maybe you get the Condi cleanse either way. Conversion, and that's what they want, is mainly the Condi conversion, especially if they're going against a heavy Condi class. Next up, we're going to have Goran versus Anand. I believe Goran should be here somewhere. I don't, yeah, there he is. He's running on his Deadeye, actually. Oh, no, his Ranger. Oh, I do have it set to 3, that's why. Oops. It's really good. Just gotta adjust that, which I did. Let me take a quick look at Anand. He's been in a lot of tournaments. Really fun thief to watch. Demolisher actually going with Runa Scholar. Sword as pistol. With a short bow, he's running with Acrobatics, Trickery, and Daredevil. Let's take a quick look at Goran. He's running Soul Beast, I believe. Yeah, Soul Beast, Nature, Magic, and Wilderness. He's also running with Rune of the Earth, Sage Amulet, Main Hand Sword, yep, and Warhorn with Axe Torch. This is going to be interesting to see. I still want this jerky, God. Jerky. I think the one got confused there, not realizing that the door was the other one. That was pretty confusing. I think Goran thought the other door was going to open, and then Kyle was just able to come in and burst on him without really realizing. I think Goran's not. That was a really confusing one. I'm sorry, I was responding to a little bit of whispers there. But I really think Goran thought that happened to me once, but not so long that the opponent actually came up and started attacking me before I realized. Here we go now. Now Goran's ready for this one. He actually sees the door open. And then he's going to not have this easiest time now with the big opener. But he does get a good opener on Goran. Goes actually a trap ranger. He's dropping most of his traps, I don't think, and then was able to actually feel the full force of those traps. Goran's got to do a better job. He's seeming a little flat-footed here. He's taking a lot of damage. Good knockdowns by Dunan, keeping up the heavy pressure. Goran has no choice but to try to go a little more of aggressive, but he's just getting stun locked 24/7 here. He's actually starting to counter a bit, but the lock is just too strong. Oh, he's got nothing left in the tank, and there it is, and then taking that really quickly. Just a flurry of damage, keeping up in the Goran's face, not letting him get any movement over here. Really intense. Our next match is actually going to be Cloud versus Polala. I'm actually just going to run to the... run to the mist really quick, and I'll be back, guys. Oh, for using the Twitch that haven't seen the bracket, I'll post it here for you. That's the bracket. This is a guild-only tournament that we're having today. I'm just in the mist right now, shamelessly promoting. Yeah, that was GG Goran, I believe. So I made it back just in time. This is, let's say, actually, Polala is running Warrior Spellbreaker. He's running Rune of the Leadership with the Amulet, with the Demolisher Amulet, Great Sword with Dagger and Shield. He's running Strength, Discipline, and Spellbreaker. Let's take a look at Cloud over here. He's running Nature Magic, Skirmishing, and Soul Beast. Leadership with Avatar. Sword, Warhorn with Great Sword. It's actually dueling him a bit on his class in the FFA arena. It's pretty tough, very, very strong, lots of burst. He's going to Demolisher, I think, just for a little more sustained. Good CC by Polala. Nice return by Rylands. He's got to be careful with this Rampage. Rampaging early, but good job by mitigating most of that. He's... Oof, nice job. I think he got really lucky on the edge of that LOL. Oh, lands the Worldly Impact. Not able to put that much damage down onto him. This is going to be really tough. Maybe Rylands should wait for maybe more of the map mechanic. As I mentioned, there's no more healing. So when we look at Polala, he does... Oh, he's actually running with Mending. Very interesting. So he doesn't even have the regen. Good pressure by Polala. Getting that... I believe that was Arcing Slice. No. It wasn't the Arcing Slice. It was his Dagger. Goes for the Whirling Wind. Trying to get the Trailblaze. Rylands actually doing a really good job of keeping the pressure, but there's a lot of mitigation coming from Polala. That was a good move as well, using the shield and the Mage Bane, so when he pulled him, he wasn't going to break the stun and come after him with some heavy damage. Gets the Trailblazers again to get the cripple on him. Tries to get the shield stun, is not able to do that. He does have his Mending up. Ryland gets the Worldly Impact. This is actually turning to be a really interesting fight, and now he pops the Mending, but Ryland is able to keep the pressure. He's really low now. He's got to be really careful. He's got the Mage Bane on him. Tries to go in for the heavy counter pressure, but no, that's Polala that takes the game one. This is, Polala is no slouch. He's definitely a very tough competitor, and kudos to Rylands for putting up this type of a fight, especially against a warrior. Sorry guys, I'm really into my turkey right now. Thanks for joining me, by the way, guys. I really appreciate it. Let's see if Cloud Rylands makes any changes to his build over here. That sounds bad. See? Okay, so he did make the change to Avatar. He's going for a little more healing and sustain. You're too funny. You're making me laugh. So Rune of the Leadership, I'm still laughing. Sword and Warhorn with the Great Sword over here. Polo, I don't think he's made any changes on his side. Rune of Leadership, Demolisher and Leadership. Yeah, he's still going with those. Let's see, and also, like I mentioned, when it comes to people who have a little more talent with their builds, it's not only the build itself that you can change, but your strategy, your gameplay, using the terrain, knowing your opponent better, dodging certain CCs or certain big moves that you know are coming your way. These all make a huge, huge difference when it comes to this level of play. Good job right here. Nice counter pressure by Rylands. He sees the Bull's charge. I believe that was the Bull's charge coming from him. He was able to counter with his own stun, and he actually caught Polala by surprise, getting some big damage. And now this is Rampage use, and Rampage is a very good utility skill, very strong. Not so strong against Condi, but here he's able to mitigate his 25% of damage and as well get Rylands to use a lot of his bursts, a lot of his cooldowns, and then when he comes out of Rampage, he kind of has him ripe for the picking. As you can see, lands the big stun and gets the 100 blades right on top of him, and that's game, set, match. So that's actually Polala that moves into our quarterfinals. So let's take a look at our next match coming up. It's actually me versus Dark Opium. I'm going to shoutcast my own match as well, guys. Why not? Fuck it. We in this. I might have to run to the store really quick. It's closing pretty soon. Maybe if I can get this done fast enough, I'm going to try to do it really quick. Here we go. Dark Opium, this is a tough fight for me. We already saw Dark Opium, so I'm going to show you my build here. I'm running Rune of the Eagle with Marauder, Great Sword, Sword Focus. I'm running Sigil of Energy and Annulment. I'm not a huge fan of Annulment, actually. I'm just going to go back to, not Energy, but maybe Cleansing, not against him. You know, no, not Annulment. Doom, maybe? No. Exploitation? Yeah, let's do a little bit. I don't really need exploitation on this guy anyway. No, not cleansing. Whatever. Let's just go with exploitation. I'm also running Zeal, Radiance, and Valor. I gotta be careful with these type of Revenants because Revenants can use a lot. Do a lot of damage, and my symbols do a lot of damage. So if I just, my symbols proc, and if I leave them on the floor, they stay there for a certain duration, and he can always use that for his glint heal, and it will literally heal him right up. So I got to be really attentive on when I'm going to get him to use his glint heal. I got to try to bait him out of using a lot of his evades, frames, and his CC, because he does have a lot of it. But if I'm able to get through that, get through his couple little staff evades and all that, and then put the pressure down onto him, and then just get him to about a quarter health, and then bait him into using the glint heal, back away, and then come back, that's the only way I'm really gonna win. I really have to bait him a lot. Baiter, master baiter. Here we go. This is gonna be tough. And Sexy Hazard's no slouch. I sure I'm gonna see him in the semifinals. Well, he's going to be in the semifinals if he beats me here. He's always in semifinals or finals. He's really strong Revenant. He's doing a good job of staying on the no port. There's the CC that I was looking for. I got him in the immob, and there's the bait for the glint heal that I was looking for as well. Perfectly. This is what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted. Good job by him going to the no port. I was looking for my Justice intervention, but I got to be really careful now. This is a good position I have him in. This is exactly what I wanted. I got to get him quickly, though, because his glint heal is coming pretty soon. Good job over there with the sustain. There we go. That's what I wanted, guys. Exactly what I said I was trying to do was try to bait him into using his CC, in which he was damage mitigation, which he did with his staff while I had my Shield of Wrath up. And then I came in hard with the Binding Blade on him after his CC was mitigation, damage mitigation was up. I came hard on him, and then, that sounds even worse. But I put a lot of damage onto him, and I stopped immediately when he got to about quarter health because I knew he was going to pop glint. There was just too much damage coming his way. He got nervous. He popped the glint. I knew it was coming. I stopped damage, and then after that, he was pretty much ripe for the picking. Yeah, shut up, see. Damn you. So now this is going to be game 2. He's going to be much more prepared, and I'm not going to be able to do the same thing to him twice. So what I'm going to try to do this time is just try to come really fast, or try to engage on him really, really, really fast this time, and try to stop him, and just try to stop him directly in his tracks. Because last time I was working a little slower, so hopefully if I do this really quick, he'll be able to, I'll catch him by surprise once more. There's that damage mitigation that I was really worried about. He tries to get me in the glint, but I know my block is up. I'm getting in the pull. There's his glint heal. Now we're kind of at right around the even mark. That was really bad choice by me trying to go for the whirlwind combo. I gotta get out of this. I'm a dead man. not over yet. I do have the Ray of Judgment, but smartly he's running away. He knows if he gets hit, yes, this is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I've been practicing this on downstate really good. I should be able to get this res. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. I should have waited one more click before I clicked that. Oh my god. I usually get it to time, so as soon as my health bar gets above the you are defeated or whatever it is, I can usually click it. But I should have clicked one more time and then I would have got it. Fuck, that sucks balls. Oh, that sucks balls. That really sucks balls. And I got caught twice. Oh, why did I leave the server? This is our first match in the quarterfinals, and this is our first game 3 that we're coming up with. So, like I said, the cream is starting to rise to the top. Super, super close. One more tick, and I would have got that up, man. I knew as soon as I clicked the 3, because I saw my health drop back down, I was like, fuck, I'm just a little too short. But it was like, literally, I had no time. His res was coming up. My res was coming up. Now, this is going to be a little different. I'm going to use the no port against him. I'm wait for him to come up so I can get that Ray of Judgment. That's what I wanted. Good AoE by him. I'm going to stay on the no port, though. This is doing the damage and ruining a lot of his CC, his mitigation. I'm just going to have to be careful here. I'll wait for him. I don't mind. Last time I was the aggressor, and this is kind of a change of pace for him at the same time, so he's not sure what to expect. That was a bad dodge roll by me. Yeah, Ray of Judgment again. Ah, fuck, and that's exactly what I was worried about. Good job by Sexy Hazard, and I didn't watch the glint heal, and then when I turned on all my bursts, I should have just stopped, but I didn't. And you can see he went all the way down and then all the way back up, and those are the danger parts about fighting a Revenant. You gotta be really, really careful. You always gotta be attentive. I got a little complacent in my last match, and I paid for it. But that was a really good game 3. I was really happy with that match. This is the quarterfinals, and these are the type of things that we're expecting. These are all guildies in here that you're watching as well, guys. That was really entertaining. I enjoyed that one. So now we have Fidelo versus Sarista. Both of them have moved forward from their first round, so it's going to be interesting. Oops, sorry, guys. 45 minutes to get to the store. Oh boy, this is going to be stuff. Don't burst too quick. Yeah, Orichium, too funny. I bursted way too quick. I just basically splurged everywhere, and then I lost. So we're going to take a quick look. This is the Fire Weaver that we're looking for. Before Fire, Arcane, and Weaver. He's running with the Sword Focus. He's got Balthazar with Sage Amulet. Let's take a look at Christy over here on this side. Now going a little more defensive with Runa Sanctuary. This is what you'll see with the Fire Weavers as well. I'm kind of happy that both of them are engaging each other so they can kind of get rid of the allies and get one ally going into the finals over here. Really good engage. I'm not the greatest at Ellies, and like I said, I'm really new to shoutcasting. Only about 3 weeks, 25 days in. So I'm really, the Ellies are really hard for me. I gotta start playing them just so I can understand their combos a little better. But I know fire is bad, and I know healing is for healing, and I know earth is for more damage mitigation and sustain. And I know a couple of their main moves like Swirling Winds, that evade frame. I'm not sure what the name is. If you guys do know, actually, really, I've been trying to figure it out for a long time. The Ellie goes down into the ground and then comes back up, spinning around and completely invulnerable. If you know what that is, type it in the Twitch chat. Right now, Chrissy's under some heavy pressure right now. He's got to really get away. He's doing a good job of trying to kite using LOS to his advantage, but QNet is doing a very good job of keeping the pressure on top of him. He's trying to get to the no port. Really good job. And this is the type of thing that you want to do to an Ellie to keep him to win the match. You got to put the pressure on top of him, and then once he gets low, below half health, he doesn't have that much big burst healing. So if you keep the pressure, he just slowly dwindles down, and then he won't be able to re-sustain because of that half health. He gets very nervous, and he just starts running, and he's not able to turn and burn back on you. Twist of Fate. Thank you, Orichi-chan. Thank you so much for that, man. Twist of Fate. I just learned a new move for Ellie. I'll be using it now in the shoutcasting that I'm doing. As by the way, guys, I'll take this time to say, if you like this type of stuff, click that follow or click that subscribe. I do a tournament every single day, a tournament or a Fashion Wars content or maybe some 5v5 in-houses. We did them yesterday for 5 hours straight, just pulling in brand new people. It's really, really, really fun. I put them all in my highlights video. Take a look, guys. I really appreciate it. Either way, thank you for watching. Beef jerky. Oh, sorry, guys. I didn't know that some guy entered. We're doing a 1v1 tourney, guys, in here, so it's brackets have already been posted. They've already been made. For those of you who just joined the Twitch stream, I'll post the brackets right now. These are who we have. This is a guild only and a couple of Twitch viewers, which are actually guild members anyway. So I appreciate you guys watching and being part of the guild. There's 13 competitors that we have in this one. We just finished our first round in the quarterfinals. It was really good. It was me versus Dark Opium. We went to game 3, and now we're starting our second. Actually, this is our second match, the second game. Q-Mate was actually the one who took this one. This is Fidelo. He's doing really good, actually. Very impressive. He did well in his first performance in his first match in the first round, and now he's starting in the quarterfinals. He did very impressive performance against Christy. Christy has won some of her tournaments and has beat Artemis Flame, who's one of the stronger Ellies that I know. She actually won the E-Girls 1v1 tournament yesterday. Here we go. Chrissy doing a much better job of keeping the counter pressure, and it's these burns that here that you really want to watch. He's not able to clear them. He had to go through the entire duration, and that's what gives him the benefit of getting those, because the Ellies have a lot of damage mitigation. They have the inbones, they have the eat frames, and now if you're able to get the burning, there's nothing they can do about that. They do have some cleanse, but if you catch them off it, like again, you see 8 stacks, 9 stacks, and that's going to be the end of it for him. Really good, really got super close. Christy's actually getting downed. That was a really good match. I didn't even notice that Christy was taking the heavy damage. I was just watching the burn stacks and showing you how dangerous they can be and how fast they can place them down for an Ellie. Literally, if you complacent for maybe 2 or 3 seconds with those burning ticks, 8 stacks of burnings, you will literally die. You will literally die. Our next match coming up, guys, is Z versus Anend. This is flowing really well. These are all guildies. They know how my tourneys run, so they're very accustomed to them, and they're all working out really, really well. Like I mentioned, there's 400 gold giving out. We're giving out 50% to first place, 30% to second, and we're giving out 20% to third place. Let's take a quick look at Anand. Anand was actually fighting Goran in the first round. He was a soul beast. Anand has a lot of CC pressure, was able to put down a lot of damage and just lock Goran down exactly where he wanted him. It was a really good performance. I'm curious to see what he's able to do against C here, where the Hollow does have a lot more pressure that he can put down AoE. He actually switched over to Demolisher for a little more sustain, I believe. Let me take a quick look at Z. Z is actually our guild leader for AL. Big ups to Z. She's really supportive. She always helps with all these tourneys. She actually enters them. She donates for them. And she does all the back end stuff for the guild, which is a lot of people don't see, but it's really, really, really appreciated. Big ups to Z. And she streams too, guys. You should definitely check out her stream. Oh, I didn't even see what she was running over here. I think she was going with tools. Yeah, tools hollow. Yeah, for sure, Kegar. You can definitely watch Rune of the Leadership with Demolisher. They're both going a little defensive. The Elixir E popped a little early. She tries to go for the Shockwave. Actually does land it. Dodge rolls back. She does have to pop her healing turret. She doesn't usually play Hollow. I think she's just trying it out for the tourney. And she usually plays a mean Scourge. Doing a really good job so far against Anend. That's the Scorpion Wire, I believe that was, on coming from Anend. Good job on the Shockwave. She's got to use that Prime Light Beam, not the Prime Light Beam, she's got to use that Photon Blitz a little more to keep the pressure onto Anend, and then doing a good job of keeping the counter pressure. No problem. Oh, sorry guys. No problem, Kigar. You're definitely more than welcome to watch. Oh, sorry, Armageddon. Sorry, what's up? Okay, I'll fix it. I don't really notice that some people actually look at the challenge or come back to the challengebracket.com later, because sometimes I'll just do 2 wins, 2 wins, 2 wins, 2 wins, 2 wins, just to make it easier for me and just move forward, because I know who won, so I just make them. But some people do like to know that they've won their one match against Artemis or whatever it may be, so I'm going to be a lot more attentive on that and make sure that when I do the brackets, I'm going to make sure that everyone stays. Exactly. So if you won one and he won two, I'm going to make sure that your one win was signified and it is showing, because people like to know that they won one. So here we go again in game 2. Nice health stealth by the Holosmith. That's Z. Now Holos usually start most of the burst in stealth because it really helps them open up with Shockwave. Shockwave is very obvious mechanic, but in stealth you can't notice it. Just a Shockwave that comes out, and then you're able to open up with maybe a Corona, then a Photon Blitz right after, and maybe a Holo Leap right on top with an Overcharge, and then you blast him again with a Blunderbuss and maybe some Prime Light Beam. There's just a lot of combos. Easily you can match them up with on a holo because there's so many openers for it. You have 3 different types of CC. Yeah, sorry guys, it's just when you see me all of a sudden go, it's a message from someone that I'm curious to see. That was Cloud. He's like, yo, Mike, are you archiving these tourney right? Yes, sir, I am archiving. What I'll always do is VOD all my tourneys. Good job by, Z. She got a little flat-footed at the end. She should have just kept down the damage and then able to recoup from that little bit of moment of time. Oh, really good job by Z, and really good job by Kyle. Kyle plays Thief a lot more. Z doesn't play Hollow too much, but she's definitely practicing it, and I appreciate these higher tier players coming in with classes they don't usually play with, because it keeps the tournaments interesting. You don't always see the same type of people winning all the time. Our next match coming up is actually Louis PTM versus, I think Louis PTM is here. Let me go see if he's in guild here. He asked me to sign up last minute, and I did sign him up. I'm hoping he's still here. Yeah, he's here. Perfect. He's Wild Area. And he's running Soul Beast over here. Polala is still on his Warrior. This is going to be an interesting match, because Polala does have a lot of mitigation of immobes or anything of that sort. So even though he's melee, he's still able to cover distance very quickly. And that's kind of the only advantage that Wild Area has. Is he running with, yeah, he does have the short bow, so he does have the range. He has the sword dagger. He is very mobile. He has to be able to use that to his advantage, but it's going to be really difficult. So I think what it's going to come down to is mostly terrain. Making sure that he gets into places that his bull charge or his rush can't get to. And just trying to keep the distance and punishing him for it. Maybe even making it to the map mechanic so he can't heal. And just keep the pressure on top of him. We saw Paulala, but we didn't see Wildalaria, what exactly he was running. We took a quick look here. Mad King Pumpkin. Ooh, a bleed duration, summon Ravens to attack, which is used on a lot of rangers that Ravens can be very annoying and can get the down kill if they so choose. Wilderness Survival versus Skirmishing and the Soul Beast. Oh, big stun right there on the bull charge by Polala. That's not what Wild Alaria wanted to happen at the beginning of this. He's trying to mitigate some of that damage, but it's just too much pressure coming from Polala. He goes into Rampage at a perfect time. And actually, Wild is actually engaging on this, maybe as a countermeasure, but it's not the wisest idea, as you're not going to be able to get your full pressure down. And good job by Polala, just taking the dominant stride in this match. Going for my jerky again. This is actually our last match in the quarterfinals, and we'll be moving on to the semifinals. We do have a third place match that we're going to be doing, guys. Let's see if Wildalaria made any changes over here. No, he's still going hard. He's got to be really careful. He's got to not be baited by using because sometimes you'll see Polo use a rush instead of a bull's charge to kind of bait the evade and then come in with the bull's charge. And he likes to counter hard with the bull's charge. He's trying to mitigate that damage. He hasn't used his entangle roots. I'm curious to see when he uses the entangle. It's not really. Oof. Goes for the quick rampage. Good job by Polala, knowing when to use that rampage. And that rampage is a great softener. He's already using most of his like he's already no, he hasn't used his entangle yet, but he's used a lot of his mitigation just to get away from Polala during that rampage. He did use the entangling roots, but they don't take too much effect on a warrior who can break through them right away. Like I mentioned, they're very mobile. They can get through immob very, very easy, or any sort of immobilization, or even chill or cripple. Big 100 blades. Nice counter pressure. He's got the advantage right there. He should have taken it. Polala was actually down, and you see those little windows of opportunity. You definitely got to capitalize on them. He had no stun break. He had nothing left, and this is kind of like, this is when you kind of notice it. He does have the frenzy. His heal's still far away. Now he does have the two shake it offs coming back. This is good positioning for Wild Illyria. He wants to keep this, and as I mentioned, using these little bumps in the road to stop his charges, to stop his bulls rushes, to stop his whirlwinds. That's what you kind of got to do against him. And Polala actually using that ramp to come all the way up. Very clever. Wild Illyria, there you go, using that map mechanic and terrain to a full advantage, getting the big stun, and this is what you want to do really. Try to stay away, get back on the no port, just kind of keep the distance. There you go again. That was a perfect example again of how he should use the terrain against this type of warrior who is melee and has a lot of ways to cover distance, but it's all in one track. So if he's able to keep going up and down these spots, using the shoulders of the stairs, he's doing a much better engage, and we only have 10 seconds left in this match. Let's see if he has his heal. It's not going to be able to use it, so he's got to be really careful right here. This is a dangerous, and he actually got the Mage Bane on the pet. That's huge for Wild Illyria. He's going into Rampage again just as the timer comes up. Perfect timing for Polala, and now Wild Illyria is doing nothing but running. I don't hope he doesn't use his Troll Engine, because he knows that the map mechanic is here. He's doing a good job. He gets caught right there. Reflex is back. He's got the Mage Bane. This doesn't look good. And down goes Wild Illyria. That was a good attempt in the second round. Did a much better job, especially fighting this type of warrior. But that's Pola that moves forward. So our next match is actually going to be Dark Opium versus Fidelio. Dark Opium was our Revenant, and Fidelio was actually our Fireweaver, I believe. Yeah, and he's been doing a really good job. He actually eliminated Sarista. That was really impressive as well. Sarista's a strong ally, and that's no slouch right there. So it goes definitely a testament to his strength. I just got my chocolate muffin over here, guys. I'm gonna take one bite, just one bite. So here we go, guys. I took 2 bites of my muffin, actually. So he's got Sword Sword. We saw this before. He's still running Lisa. He needs that condition, good duration. This is going to be a really good fight. It doesn't really serve in this Revenant's favor. I would definitely give this to the Ellie's favor. Sexy Hazard just has got to get his... He has to make sure that he gets his burst exactly like that. Now this is where the game changes. He's got to keep the pressure, keep the pressure, keep the pressure, because he can't sustain. As you can see, he is. But there's just too much burst coming from Sexy Hazard that he's not able to sustain this and keep the pressure up at the same time. This is the position that you want to keep an Ellie in. Sexy Hazard executed that quickly, but he's just got to keep it. There you go. Perfect job by Sexy Hazard. You got to make sure you land that big burst, get that big chunk right onto him right away, and then just keep the pressure. You can basically keep that pressure because he's not turning around. He can't put the burning on you. There's no way for him to. He's way too low. He's just got to keep mitigating that damage and trying to heal up. And then after a while, he just can't keep up, and then he gets the win. Great, great execution by Sexy Hazard. As I mentioned, most of the time I'd give it to the Ellie, but the Ellie's got to be careful for those bursts, that Shackling Wave, those Glint Heals, a lot of those things. Let's see if Q-Mate goes a little different on this one. Still running the same. He's still confident. He's got to be really careful for those bursts, and they can come at any moment from a Weaver, especially with the ability to port right on top of your opponent and just keep that heavy pressure. Really well executed. That's the type of thing you want to see from a Revenant. And so, like I said, Sexy Hazard, dominant player. He's usually always in semifinals or finals with the guild. Even not even if it's guild 1v1. Bubbles. Looking good, it's understood. Flossing from my hood, taking pride in my ride like every player should. Fucking good, Bubbles. Much better job over here by Kumate. Now this is where things start to get a little tough for Sexy Hazard, where he can actually turn on the pressure, start getting the burns down. He doesn't have any cleanse, and that's what I mentioned. He needs to get that big burst onto QNet. QNet's got to watch his health, make sure he always sustains and gets pretty high. Great burst again by Sexy Hazard. QMate's not being very attentive. He already used his Swirling Winds. No, it was not Swirling Winds. Swirling Defense and Swirling... Oh, what did he say it was? Twist of Fate, that's what it was. He already used his Twist of Fate and his Swirling Winds. The Twist of Fate was used a little preemptive. He should have used that when the Revenant was coming in with his big damage and his complete evade. They should have double evaded at the same time, or doubly involved at the same time. But he used it a little too early. And that's Sexy Hazard that takes it. Our next match coming up after this, guys, is actually going to be Anen versus Polala. This is going to be an interesting one. I'm curious to see how it turns out. Our finals is going to be really good. We're also having a third place match as well, so don't forget about that. Yes, ma'am. So let's take a quick look at Polala. He's part of the guild as well. He's participated in at least 4 or 5 of my tourneys, and I always appreciate him coming in. Really good skill, and always fun to watch. Still running on his Spellbreaker over here. He's got his Rune and Leadership with Demolisher. He's just going after Anen, who's running a funnier build. She does use that Scorpion Wire. But he's always entertaining to watch, and I like these custom builds that they come out with. To me, this is kind of custom. Going hard with the engage. Now he's got to be really careful, and then with his engages, he's doing a really good job right now. Now forcing him into he tries to get the Scorpion Wire. Good disengage right there. Now Nen's got to be careful. He can't burn through too many cooldowns. There's the Rampage. Really good stealth on the Rampage. Just trying to get away. Stealthing again. Negating the entire Rampage. Really good job by Nen. Not wasting any cooldowns on that whatsoever. Just keeping the pressure. But at any moment can Polala turn this around. So Nen's always, oof, that was a big stun. He got really lucky that Poe turned away. Goes into the Dagger Storm, keeping the pressure on Poe. There's the big Bull's Charge. There's the 100 Blades. He actually was able to interrupt and get the big heal off. Good job by Anen, but the Mage Bane is on, so he's got to be attentive and stay close. He actually gets the reflex, not the reflex back, but the evade frame back. Gets him in the stun, tries to get him some more damage. Good job by Anen right now, but he's got to be really careful. Anen is actually Kyle. Anen is just her account name. Pola's trying to run away a bit, but... good job again, keeping the pressure up, and that's what you want to do. He doesn't have that regen designate. Oh my goodness gracious. And then with a stunning defeat over Polala. And as I mentioned, usually Warrior, especially non-Condi Thieves, should not have the advantage over Warriors. Warriors have the advantage over non-Condi Thieves. They just have so much sustain. And Polala is a great player. He's definitely going to make some changes. There's no doubt about that on my mind. He doesn't play Warrior too often, though. That's not his main class, so I definitely appreciate that. Him coming in with something he's not too familiar with. He definitely knows the class, there's no doubt about that, but he's not super familiar with it. Hold on 2 seconds, guys. Sorry about that. So let's take a quick look at Polala. It doesn't look like he's made any changes. He's still keeping with the mending, and I think the mending is going to be Maybe that did save him, maybe it didn't, but at least Anand is able to tell when the heal's gone off and when she's able to put the pressure. It was almost like Anand was reversing his counter 100 blades with his own 100 blades. That was really, 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 really funny. That was really impressive as well. He did a really good job, and like I mentioned, when you come close against a warrior, you got to be ready to engage, put it down your damage, make sure you're evading, make sure you watch out for the arcing slices, the bull's charges, the shield bash, these type of CCs. You got to be very attentive, and then Kyle did a really good job. So here we go again. Now Polow's going to be careful. He's already got the shield. Now that he knows he's used the shield, and then wasted a little bit of cooldowns on that, he should have noticed the shield and backed off. Good return stun by Anand. Now, do you see that? Ooh, this is dangerous. He goes into Rampage. This might be it for Anand. Good job on the Dagger Storm right there. He has no choice. Now, he's just got to really clear the gap and get out as much as he can. Ooh, Lord, this is going to be tough. Really good port by Anand. That was really clutch. Tries to go back in. Oh, try to keep the pressure up again. Oh my god, and then gets it. That was epic. Oh my god, and then that was really clutch plays right there. The port out and then coming. I was a little hesitant on them coming back in so hard for the re-engage, but they had the double install and like that. I don't know what that was. The 100 blades coming from a thief. Really, 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 really good. That was impressive by an end. Wow. I really like that. That was really good. Actually, skunking Polal on that. So now we're having our third place match coming up right here, guys. It's going to be Polala versus Fidelo. I don't know if Fidelo's really still here. Let me go look for him. I know he's here somewhere. It'd be unfortunate if he logged out and we'd have to give third place just away like that. I can't find him. Okay, so Polala gets third. Okay, so now it's going to be our finals match, best of 5 series. So now we have the finals is Dark Opium versus Anand, and I'm really curious to see how this is going to turn out. Anand has been stunning, really, really good job, really locking down most of their opponents, and you know, when you look at them, it's like, what are they doing? But it's just, Polala is no slouch. He's a very, very top tier PvP player. And then just made them look very, very silly. It's almost like their player wasn't working. A lot of big stuns coming out of him. That was very interesting to see. I'm not sure of this build, exactly what it is. I don't see it too often. Sword Pistol, Short Bow, Demolisher with Rune of the Scholar. Maybe you guys do Daredevil, Trickery, Acrobatics. In the Twitch chat, if you see this, what is this? If any of you know. Very, very interesting. Let's see how Sexy Hazard. He doesn't have to go with too much Condi clear here, but he's still going with his Condi duration over here. I'm not sure why. Doesn't really need it against Anand, I don't think. Good job on the Glint Elite, putting some heavy pressure on Anand, but he's mitigating all of that. Good job again by Anand, poking in and out. Now he's starting to use the no port. He get him in the big stun, big damage, and down goes Anand. Great job by Sexy Hazard. Really, really, really nice. That's game 1. And that's interesting over there. Polala says that he actually thinks the Revs counter all Ellie builds, and like I said, he's really good, and I don't doubt what he's saying. But in my opinion, I don't know. It's kind of halfway through. I think that Ellies do have the advantage. If Ellies can put down the pressure really, if Revenants can put down the pressure really fast, like Sexy Hazard did, then that's where they have the advantage. So it's kind of like it goes both ways, in my opinion. So here we go into game 2. I too am in the mentally disabled department. Oh my god, you make me laugh. So here we go, Kyle. Let's see if he made. Oh, he was going more berserker this time. Interesting. Let's see how he does. He's a lot more squishy, but he does a lot more danger. That's him with the scorpion wire. Really good job. I didn't think he would actually land that, but he did. He's got to be careful now because Sexy Hazard can easily pour it into him. He's going for the dagger storm, just trying to keep the pressure up. He's got to be careful for that glint heal. Sexy doesn't really know when to use the glint heal. There's the glint. Now he's got to be careful. If it gets him in the glint to lead as well, and that's game 2. Oof. So here we go again, and then just kind of sitting back now. Not sure if he's AFK. Oh, no, he's not. There he is. He's just kind of waiting for Sexy, sitting back the game. Oh, the game hasn't even started. My bad, guys. And for those of you who want, I'm going to give out your prizes, but I got 15 minutes to get to the store. It's going to take me 5 minutes to get there and back. So as soon as this match is over, I'm going to quickly run to the store before it closes. So here we go again, going in for the stealth, avoiding that big AoE. Tries to get that glint, but doesn't get it. Good job by Nan putting up the pressure onto Sexy. Sexy avoiding most of it, catching him again. He's got to watch for that glint heal now. Dagger Storm doesn't get full damage with the Dagger Storm. Sexy doing a good job of staying on the no port spots. Really, really impressive. And that's what I'm talking about terrain. Terrain makes all the difference in the world, stopping a lot of the engages. He actually might get this. He's got to watch for the glint heal now. There's the glint heal. He's got to be careful not to damage him while he's in it. Sexy just trying to counter, but will and then get the down? No, that Sexy has it. So thank you so much everyone for watching. If you really like this content, click that follow or click that subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I put one of these out every single day. Check out my highlights videos. I'm going to be putting this one in the highlight video as well. I'm going to probably take about a 15-20 minute break. I'll be back and then I'm going to be doing some ranked, just chilling inside Discord with a couple of the homies from AL. And you guys are more than welcome to join me. Maybe today I'll do some little gold giveaways as I do my ranked. What I'll usually do is that before my ranked starts, my match starts, I'll ask people in Twitch to put a W or an L, so indicating a win or a loss, and if I win, you get 1 gold, and if I lose, you don't lose anything. You know what I mean? If you get your bet right, you get 1 gold. If you're a subscriber, you get 2 gold. So those are little games I try to do after, just to make the Twitch a little more interactive with me and you guys. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break, guys. I'll be back in about 15-20 minutes. I'm probably just going to leave it on like this. Wait, I'll probably leave it up like this. It's Kyle and Christy actually going at it right now. But I'll be back in a bit, guys. I'm just going to run to the store, then I'll give out the prizes. So I told my participants not to run too far. Hey, Matt Attacker, what's up, buddy? I'm doing another tournament tomorrow, so get ready for that. This one's going to be open to everybody. This one today was guild only. It gave over 400 gold in prizes for this one. First place, second place, and third place. So I'll be back in about 10 minutes, guys. Or I'm going to be back in about 15, 20. And I'm going to the store right now. So thank you so much for watching. Click follow, subscribe.